We're back, and I'm super, super happy to be here. For those of you who don't know, my name is Brandon. I am the Director of Dealer Operations here at Roomvo, and I just wanted to thank you guys for joining us here today for the first Roomvo University webinar of 2023. And we continue that streak. We actually have broken a record today, I think, with over 160 registrants for this event.
Good.
Super good. And Liz, I'll tell you, they're not here to talk to Jim and I. They're here for you. So you broke the record on that one. I'll give you that one.
We'll see how we do.
No, I'm not even a little worried, because today's topic is actually super relevant to the times. We're going to be talking about recession success game plans. And I think what is most exciting for me is that we're not just talking about how to survive in a recession. We're talking about how to thrive in a recession. And how to do that, you got to do things today when times are not bad yet, to make sure that when that happens, you are prepared. And so I'm super excited for you, Lisbeth, to be here and to talk to us about that. I'm going to do some really, really quick housekeeping. I'm going to share my screen, because one of the things that we just launched, can you see my screen, Lisbeth and Jim?
I can.
Cool. One of the things that we did last year, the theme of Roomvo, was we committed to getting as many of your products as possible in the visualizer so that retailers could really use this as an effective sales tool. And on that front, we won in a really big way. And by the end of the year, names like Shaw and Mohawk both joined our platform, alongside Dixie, Armstrong, Cali. I mean, the list is quite literally endless, all the way back to some of our earliest and largest supporters, MSI, Engineered Floors, Metropolitan come to mind. This year, we're going to double down on making it insanely easy for you to bring the visualizer into your showroom. We are going to help you bring more value to the customer than you've ever been able to bring with technology. And it starts with something that is already live in beta right now. In fact, you are the first retailers to even hear about this. In Roomvo Pro, the platform where you already go to add brands to your visualizer, you will now notice a QR code tab. This QR code tab it's in beta, but you're going to be able to go there right now after this call, and you're going to be able to design QR code stickers for your showroom. It's going to go through and pull all of the products that you have in your visualizer right now, the same products that you told us that you carry in your showroom, and you're going to be able to go through and select which products you want QR code stickers for. Maybe there's a specific SKU that you have in mind. Once you're done selecting them, you're going to click Get 3 stickers, or however many stickers you want, in the bottom right corner, and you are immediately going to get an email. And that email is going to have the design files for free for all of the QR codes that you just generated. When you print these and place them on your samples, they are going to open up the visualizer right to that product on your website, not on the manufacturer's website. And this is all included as being part of our customer, and you can do this right now. So,
and how much does this extra service cost them?
So creating the QR codes are actually free. Like, you will have an email with the design files for free. We encourage you to use our printing and shipping service to get them, because we've already arranged a deal with a service provider, and we pass the cost on to you. That cost is based on however many stickers you order. It starts at $40 for 60 SKUs, so it's really inexpensive, and you do get the design files for free. So if you want to go and get them printed locally at cost.
So you're including this service in as part of their Roomvo membership?
Yeah, you know,
and how much are they paying every month for Roomvo? It's got to be like $1,000 a month or something.
At least $1,000 a month.
At least $1,000. Oh man, if you guys want to start working for Roomvo after this, I'll hire both of you right after. No, it's potentially free. I mean, if they have the Roomvo Assistant widget, it is literally free to add to any website. And if they have a Roomvo site where we power their entire website and their product catalog and their visualizer, it's as little as $150 a month. So, that QR code can be added, that QR code generator, it can be added or used with any version of Roomvo, all the way down to that free visualizer. And it's only because we have manufacturers supporting us in a big, big way, and through that supporting you guys, the retailers.
So they can use Roomvo for free, and they can get a full-blown website for $150, which is basically free.
Oh my heavens.
That's you'd have to be a lunatic to not have Roomvo on your site.
Man, I didn't even pay you to say that. I promise everyone.
Lunatic, any kind of lunatic. You're right.
I appreciate that. Well, on that note, you guys didn't come here for this. You guys came here to listen to Lisbeth. And so I'm really excited. Before we get there, I'm going to introduce the co-host that you guys all know and love by now, Mr. Jim Armstrong, an internationally known trainer and coach for flooring dealers, and the founder and president of Flooring Success Systems, a marketing services and coaching program for dealers. Since 2007, thousands of dealers have come across Jim Armstrong and relied across his methods to get more customers, higher margins, and gain an unfair advantage over the box stores, all to live the lifestyle they deserve. And today, Jim brought on one of his close friends, Lisbeth. Jim, I know you guys have been close for a while. I'm going to let you introduce Lisbeth.
Well, Lisbeth and I go way back. We both have been writing for FC News forever. I've been writing for FC News since about my first articles were in 2007. And then I became the regular columnist in 2013. How long have you been writing for FC News, Lisbeth?
I think I came right after you. I don't think I was before you. I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
Really? Okay, so we're both we've both been with FC News forever. And Lisbeth and I have done events together. We've done webinars together, and Lisbeth's awesome. She is an industry favorite. Her shows, her whenever she speaks, it's always going to be full. She's just a wealth of knowledge, and she's just fun to listen to. And so I'm super, super grateful to have her on today to talk about this recession game plan. So before I jump in, I just want to set the stage a little bit, because Lisbeth and I talked, what can we do to bring the most relevance and most value to dealers who attend? And so 2022 saw a slowdown in the flooring market, and it's likely to continue through 2023. And it's possible we'll go into a recession. In fact, by some measures, we're already there. So most of the marketing and advertising that's done by dealers is chasing strangers. Your Google ads, your social media ads, your print, your radio, most of what dealers are doing for advertising is to attract strangers. And that's not bad, but when the market slows down, this type of advertising gets a lot more expensive to make it work. You just got to spend more to get people to walk through your door. Now, I've been working with floor dealers since 2007. And in the last recession, the dealers that I worked with not only survived, but broke sales records, some of them. And they didn't do it by using these types of advertising. A big part of their success was by focusing on past customers, referrals, developing referral partnerships. That's what saw them through. And I've known for a long time that part of Lisbeth's core genius is her ability to network and develop these kinds of relationships, which is why we definitely wanted her on this event. So Lisbeth is going to give you strategies for developing and nurturing referral partnerships with other businesses, and generating that repeat and referral business by going deep with your past clients. So Lisbeth, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much. I love to come on with you. You've got all that energy, and you write great articles. So this is pretty exciting. Thank you.
You got it. Now, right before the webinar started, we were talking a little bit about the difference so before we jump into the strategies, we were talking a little bit about the difference between this recession, whether we're in it or about to go into it, and the last one. And there's some important differences. So Lisbeth, I'd love for you to kind of share what you were sharing with Brandon and I before the webinar started.
Okay, so let's get started. First of all, I've been through, I can't tell you how many recessions I've been through. I was a retailer like in the early 2000s. And the difference between 2008 and now is very significant. I want you to understand that. A lot of you are saying to me, recession, procession, whatever. Nobody really cares about it. We have so many customers. You may have a lot of customers. They're still left over from the pandemic. They've been sitting on those dirty floors, and it's time for them to get rid of them. But let me tell you something. I went out to buy eggs yesterday. Now, I have a big thing about eggs. I only buy eggs where the chicken is outside. Now, that's a pasture-raised chicken. Now, a lot of people don't even carry those eggs. The eggs were $10 a dozen yesterday. And I said, well, namaste to the chickens. I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to buy the eggs. What I want you to understand, there's some huge differences. One is we didn't have problems with getting product in 2008. We also didn't have to worry about that food costs more than buying a car. And then you couldn't even get a car. I want you to understand that even people who have money are thinking, I don't know what I should spend it on. So you're going to have to be, the real buzzword is for now, it's creativity. You're going to have to be fun. You're going to have to get out of that box. And I know before we start, I want to tell you something. You're going to say it isn't going to work. Now, I'm going to tell you something about life. Now, Roomvo, you already know this, right? When you first put up your site, it reminded me I was on there right away because I knew that Walmart had a visualizer program. You could go in, put your little face in there, like an avatar, and you can change your clothes. And I said, this is perfect. We need this, but sometimes things don't work out the way you plan, but that doesn't mean you give up. So what I want you to understand, this is different. You have got to be creative. You've got to think, and you've got to figure out, and one of the things that Jim brought up was those customers that you've had before. So first of all, it's different than before. It's not last time, you didn't have to worry about people buying food. They couldn't get a car. No, now you have to remember that. And that goes across all people. It doesn't matter how much money is in their pocketbook. So first of all, get out of your head that you can sit in your store and I'm going to wait it out. What does Liz know? She never goes to this. She doesn't know anything about Idaho. What does she know about Connecticut? I know about everything. And the reason I know is because that's my job, right? That's your job too, Jim. I can't be writing the same junk all the time because you don't want to hear it. So I make it a point to call. I do coaching. I've got people that call me. I just had somebody call me before this. And I said, so what are you going to do this year? He said, well, you already told me I better get doing something because business stinks where I am. That's New York City. So I want you to understand, one is that this is all about you and your people being really creative and doing things that you never thought about. Oh, it's not going to work. Oh, those things, some of them don't work. But here's the deal. Here's what we have a tendency to do. Well, I remember when you didn't have a computer? Remember when you had that little flip phone? Oh, remember when you didn't have a phone? And remember when you said an iPad? I have to tell you a story. I had my kitchen. I wanted my kitchen floor done. So I called my local retailer who I just love. He came in and he did it the way they always did it. He took a napkin. He took a piece of paper towel off my counter. He drew out the floor and he goes, here you go, Liz, this is your estimate. I thought, oh my heavens. So I called Home Depot on the phone. The guy comes in, takes out his iPad, puts in my numbers, and he's figuring it out. And he says, I'm going to print this out because he has a printer with him. And he gives it to me. Hey, if you want to wait, and now you all have iPads and you all have cell phones. But what do you want for other people to show you what you need? You need to do it because that's where we're at. So you got to be online. You've got to have all the software. And Roomvo, that's really a no-brainer for heaven's sakes. Like a Walmart has it. A lot of people have it. Our industry didn't. So kudos to you, Brenda, because this is something we need. Okay, so number one, you have to be creative. How are you going to figure out who to partner with? You all know you need to partner. Jim came out, we had some great ideas for you, but first I want to give you an idea of why it doesn't work. I know why it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you don't know who you're looking for. So you need to say to yourself, okay, what do I like and what are my values? I was talking to a woman in our women's group, and she said, I figure out what I care about. I care about people. I care about animals. So she figures out those things. So number one, you've got to figure out what matters to you, right? So let's figure out what matters to me. And in my case, it would probably be animals. I like dogs, cats, and whatever. So I would think about that first. The second thing is you have to look at, how do you figure out a good partner? Okay, so a good partner, you're going to go to their Facebook page and you're going to see what they're doing. Now, if it's the kitchen place down the road and they've been in business for 100 years, they ought to have at least 8 million people on their Facebook. And if they've got 200 people, pass them by, because we don't need slackers and we don't need lazy people for this. We need people who are being creative. The second
wait a minute, Elizabeth. Time out.
Yes.
Time out. We're getting.
What?
I have to rein Liz. See, the thing about Lisbeth, she's got so much energy that I just point her in a direction. It's off to the races.
I know. I'll be here tomorrow morning, still tomorrow.
But Lisbeth, we got to set the stage a little bit. There are people on here who may not be convinced that they even need referral partnerships. So how does partnering with other businesses help you in getting, surviving a recession, prospering and thriving through a recession? Why is that? Why should they even bother with that?
Well, because we want people who are smarter than us and people who have tons of business out there, right? And who have a database of all their customers. So you need to go online and figure it out. Do they have good social media? Because once you partner with them, are they going to be able to help? Or are you going to carry the load because they haven't done anything, right? So then the next thing is you're going to call them and you're going to find out whether or not they have a database. And if they do you ever go and talk to your past customers? When they tell you, why would we do that? Because they only buy once in a lifetime, pass them up. So those are two criteria for what you're saying, right? So you have to have a criteria and you have to know who you're looking for, because I want you, Jim Armstrong, because I know that you've got a whole database of people. So I try to figure out, how am I going to get Jim Armstrong to partner with me? Because when you go and talk to Jim Armstrong, he's looking at you and he's going, yeah, she's only got 5 people on her Facebook page. And oh, she says that people who have bought before never buy again in her business, which is, she said they buy 1 kitchen. I mean, what the heck, right? So I don't want her for a partner. So the whole thing about partnerships is you want people who do those 2 things and will help you, right? Does that answer your question to start with?
Yes. However, I have had dealers who know how to market to their past clients, partner with businesses, and do the marketing for them. Like, we teach them how. We provide newsletters. The dealers we work with, we market to their past clients for them using sending out newsletters and e-newsletters, and there's a whole formula and a whole system behind it. We did this way before the last recession and on through it. What we had dealers do was literally partner with people like designers and realtors and say, okay, we'll send the newsletter to your list. We'll put your picture in it, and it's kind of like joint marketing. And because so many small businesses don't market to their past clients, they know they should, but they don't know how. And I'll give you one example. As a dealer in Utah that partnered with a realtor, and they wound up doing one referral was worth $40,000. Another referral was worth, I forget how much. It was hundreds of thousands a year. By marketing, they were like the marketing arm for this realtor. And I've seen them do it with designers and other people that they could do referral partnerships with. So I would say, yes, if they have a big list and they're communicating with that list, that's like the cream of the crop. That's the best. But if it's someone that's willing to work with you, you might be able to fill that niche for them. I've seen it happen.
Well, maybe you can. The thing is, these days, you have to get it done right away, first of all, right? So, but you're talking to the kitchen designer, and the kitchen designer has 5 customers, right? She's got 5 customers, and, you know, she doesn't like to network. She doesn't want to belong to the BNI. She doesn't want to belong to anything. So, yes, you can do that for them. But as I think about it, why not look for a partner right off the bat that has a lot of customers,
Absolutely.
that gets it? So, but you got to do your interview. You know, just because you like your best friend over there that you play golf with, or that you fence with, or whatever you do with them, and you're thinking, perfect. No, you're going to waste all this time and nothing's going to happen. So that's the piece that I want you to look at. So, you know, how do you figure it out? That's how you figure it out. You made it. The statement is, do they have past customers? What do they do with them? You know, and what are you doing with them, by the way? Are you collecting your emails? Are you going to them directly? Oh, you're saying to me, well, they only buy flooring once every 6 years. Well, maybe I do, but you know, I know everybody in my neighborhood. I still have people calling me for floor covering. I don't even have a floor covering store. Now, the people though that I know have me on their database, and they call me every month or so. How you doing, Liz? What's new in your neighborhood? Because they know that I have a database and I'm not in business. We talked about it. I have my Scrabble night every Tuesday night. This is my 7th week. My numbers are growing. I got people online. I put up the Scrabble board every week, put it out there, show them the words. We play 8-letter Scrabble. It goes faster and the words are much more interesting. I got people calling me. They want to play Scrabble. And I'm thinking, now what am I going to do with them? How do I turn them into money, right? But they're my customers. So I've got all their phone numbers. I've got all their emails, and I'm holding on to them because I know that this will benefit me. But first, you got to build the relationships, right, Jim? You got to build those relationships. You got them with your customers. They know you. They love you. And if they don't love you, you know who those are too. But they love you, and go ahead and go directly to them, because the gold is in those people. Like Jim said, you know, there's nothing wrong with new customers. The thing is that the old customers or previous customers are more than gold. They love you. They care about you. You know, you probably have, we used to call them the hanger-oners. You come in on a Saturday and there's somebody at the door. He doesn't want to buy anything, but they're a customer of yours. And you go, oh my heavens, he's here again. Do I have to talk to him? Yeah, you've got to go out and schmooze with them, or have somebody, because that person just wants to be recognized, right, Jim? They want to be recognized. They want to feel special when they come in your store. You know, you go to a restaurant. You go to a restaurant and they go, oh, hi, how you doing, Jim Brennan? Oh, I know. Oh, it's so nice to see you, you know. And now you're going to order extra stuff because, you know that you feel recognized, you know. And those are we like to do that. So those are the kind of things that are worth money. That is worth money to you. And so you have to think about business that way.
Liz,
customers.
I got to ask, so it sounds like the conditions here are, you want to find partners who have extensive databases. You want to find customers or partners who are actively communicating. They're actively touching those databases. They're not just collecting them and letting them sit on dust. And there's also a part where they are in this database has to be relevant to what you're doing to a certain degree. Maybe it's real estate, and that obviously has this redesign, redevelop, remodel component. We don't just want some database of customers who have nothing. So you've cultivated this list of things that are important to look for in a partner, but I'm not clear how to actually go and create those kinds of partnerships, right? You mentioned the interview in order to figure out, is this a good partner? But that's a hot way to start. You don't just pick up the phone and ask them, hey, do you have a database? So where should the people listening, where are they looking, and how are they actually approaching this so that they can create these partnerships?
Well, you go online. First of all, you're going to go online and see what they're doing there. right? Because if they're not noticed, then you're going to have to do all the work to get them noticed because you need their customers. See, what you need from a partner is their database. You need their customers because you're trying to fill up your database with new people. So you've got to find somebody who can do that, right? And so maybe it's your BNI. So you go to your BNI group and they don't even have to be related to your business. It doesn't matter. What matters is that they want to have an event. They love doing these things. They'll put some money into it, right? They'll put some money into it and they recognize that you will bring them things. That's the whole deal. You know, if you, just for instance, if you've got a parking lot and you're not using it, that's crazy. A parking lot is like your store. That's another room in your store. And I go to parking lots, I go in and there's this beautiful parking lot. There's one car in it. There's nothing going on. And it's the middle of summer. And I'm saying, well, where's the farmer's market? How come you don't have a farmer's market in here? Now, what has that got to do with you? The people at the farmer's market, you know, they got people coming all the time. And this is another way for you to get people, right? So that farmer's market will bring you in customers. And they're going to love it. They're going to love to have you there. And then we get the holidays. And you say, now here's where you look at your values. Oh, I love holidays. I love Christmas. I love Valentine's Day. So why isn't that parking lot filled with somebody who sells Christmas trees, who does wreaths? Why isn't there somebody with a sled and a couple of horses? What you need to look at yourself. You know, we talked about this before, Jim. You know, we talked about making your store, right? The hub. You know, you become the hub in your neighborhood and people want to go there. I mean, we're looking for places to go and we also want to be careful where we're going. So you set this up. And now I say, oh my God, you know that every week there's something going on. Every month there's something going on. And that's the way you fill that store. Having a pet, I'm telling you, if you really want to fill your store, have a pet adoption. We have somebody in my city called Curtis Lumber. They've been doing this for 25 years. Their parking lot, they're a box store. Their parking lot is huge. You can't believe, I don't know how they do it because it must be crazy cleaning up after that, after all those animals have been there. I did this with a retailer. I got a call that day and she said, you know, I think you're crazy, she said, but we've got so many customers. I don't know what to do. I'm a design house, but I got dogs pooping here and there. And she said, so you clean it up. Did you make any money? So we got all kinds of people. So you have to begin to think about, you know, who do I know? Now, here's the other thing. You've got these past customers. I would talk to them and I would say, I want to do something. You got some ideas for me? And you involve them in that. They help you with this. And you know what? People love this. They want to be part of your store. They love you. And so, yeah, that database you have is more than gold. Platinum. I love you. I want to see Jim.
That is your business.
That is your business. Yeah, you think people call me all the time. How do I get new business? And I go,
business could burn to the ground and all your inventory and all your vehicles, and insurance will rebuild it. But if you lost your past customers, you're done. That is your business.
That is your business. And again, you want to go pay it forward. So you have in your parking lot, you know, you've got all the trees and you've got the wreaths and you've got Hanukkah candles and you've got all this in there. You become the hub in the town. Now, those people that love you, this is what we did on New Year's Day. We used to invite all of our customers to our store and we had a buffet. It was a New Year's Day buffet. And we had, in those days, you know, he had to rent a big screen TV. You could come and watch football, but you had to have an invitation. So people wanted invitations. So we get a hold of our database and we'd invite people, you know, and then other people would hear about it. And they would say, how come I didn't get invited? And I go, let me look at your invoices. Let's see, would you buy last year $12 worth of what? And are you the one that caused me so much problems that day trying to bring back a half a box of tile? That's probably why you're not on the list. So Involve your database, because I'm telling you, look, you know places that you go where people love you, right? I go to my restaurant, my friends with the restaurant, I'm there twice a week because I need to eat fish and I don't like it in my house. That's my thing. So I go there, she knows how big a piece of salmon I get. And, she loves me. She loves me. And, she'll call me. She actually today wanted to know, they're talking about, they had a call from Popeyes thinking about buying they have great real estate. So now she talks to me. And I said, I do that for a living. I guide people. And she said, oh, let me tell my father. Now, this happens because you connect, right? Yep. And you talk to people. And the other thing I want to understand is, remember, the door closes and another one open for you. You've got to think that. You're going to call all these people. You're going to set up your group. And these are people that are going to help you. You want your past customers. They're your friends. You want them to be your business advisors. You ever ask your customers what they do for a living? You ever ask them, like, what kind of phone do you carry? You want to know who's got money? Look at what kind of phone. They take out their iPad, ask them, look at their iPads, look at the shoes they're wearing, and you're going to find out who they are. But it's your past customers that are worth everything. And as Jim said, this is your business. It's not Joe walking down the street. You have no idea who he is, right?
So two quick stories. I have one of the dealers I work with out of Montana. His name's Dan, and he's a second generation flooring dealer. His dad started the business, and his dad years and years ago, like 50 years ago, started playing Santa on Christmas Eve. He did it for one client, I think, and the next year more clients. And how it works is he lets the customers know, hey, if you'd like Santa to deliver the toys to your kids on Christmas Eve, let us know. I've only got like 8 slots available, but sign up. And Dan has now carried on that tradition, and he gets photos. He meets the little kids. He goes out every Christmas Eve. It's just part of what he does. And the photos, they go on their newsletter and on their website and their Facebook, and he creates these memories and these connections with the family. So it's exactly the kind of thing you're talking about, Lisbeth.
Yes, we used to, we had one of our better customers. She owned a small little nursing home. She had about 30 people, not a nursing home, but, places where people could live. And so we called her one year. We said, hey, what about, her name was Mrs. Danzig. Hey, Danzig, what about if we deliver presents to all the people in your place? This is paying it forward. You got to pay it forward. So she said, would you do that? I said, of course. So we got the guy with the sled and the horses, and we called our better customers to come in and wrap presents. You do toys for tots, for heaven's sakes. What about stuff for old people? Don't forget us. We need stuff too. So you make it so that the people that you've done business think it's really important to hang out with you. Now, it depends what you want to do. When I was in business, I used to roller skate. I live in New York, down at the plaza in Albany, they had roller skating every afternoon. People would come in and say, like, where's Liz? And they'd say, well, you know where she is. She's down there roller skating. I had at least 30 people that were my customers alone. We went down roller skated, danced down there. Not only wouldn't they buy from anybody else, they wouldn't even bring up anybody else's name. So what you're creating are those people. You're creating friends. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, I get tired of them, right? I sold them. I can't stand hanging out with them. Well, then you really got a problem. You're going to have to figure out, how many hours you spend in your store. It's probably plenty. What are you doing to make it fun? What are you doing to have a good time? And you always have to think, those people will help me. Instead of spending money where you don't even know where it's going these days, you need to get these people to help you. And you got to say to somebody, by the way, what do you do for a living, Jim? So Jim tells me, and I go, oh my heavens, It's really terrific. Maybe we could help you. Now, Jim says, oh my gosh, this person's going to help me. Your insurance company who's bought from you a few times. These are people that should be giving you all kinds of business. You're paying for, you've got cars on your insurance. You've got your business on your insurance. I do that in my seminar. I say, well, how much have they spent with you? Oh, they bought once. Oh, really? And how much did you spend? Oh, $50,000. Seems like a bad connection. Go talk to them. Make them part of your business. They are in your database. So look at your database. See who the people are in your database, right? And then it'll work out for you. You've got to look at everybody as a connection. All these people are connections. You know, maybe you didn't like her. Maybe she was really difficult. Maybe she gave your installer a hard time. But maybe she bought. My physical therapist the other day said to me, oh, I just did my kitchen over. I said, really? What did you spend? She said, $200,000. I almost choked to death. I don't even know anybody in this town that would spend $200,000. Oh, she said, I spent $200,000 on my kitchen. She has 3 kids. And she wanted to know about flooring. She said, I hear you're the flooring guru. And I said, yes, I am. Now, I'm her customer. Now, will I make money on that deal? You bet I'm going to make money. I'm going to send her to my store and my guy because she's in my database. See, databases are odd, but she's in my database. I have a whole database around here. People call me for stuff, and you know that I am going to make that work. I got a call from somebody the other day who I met at Surfaces, not in the flooring business, said he has to do his house over. Oh, I said, that'll be nice. You live in Atlanta? Yeah, I need 10 bathrooms. He's got 10 bathrooms, 10 bedrooms. And I want this, and he's in my database. I consider him in my little database, right? I spent a lot of time making friends with him and keeping him around me because I knew there'd be a time when he needed me. And I made 3 phone calls yesterday for an interior designer, for the wood floor, and for the marble. That's my database. And I always think of people that way. And once I get them in my database, I invite them for dinner. Yesterday I said to 12 people, they're Tuesday, on my Scrabble night, I said, okay, now here I want to ask you a question. I'm thinking for next Christmas, I'm going to invite you all over. And what you're going to do is going to put up the Christmas tree. We're going to put up the Christmas tree and we're going to have dinner. Oh, they were like, oh, really? Can we do that in your house? I said, of course, that's what we're going to do. What am I doing? I'm cultivating a group of people, right? For what I do. Maybe it's for fun. I can guarantee you this. I know there's somebody in there that's going to need flooring. And I got the flooring connections, right? So I want you to understand, you're always building a database. So you need to think about it. I'm always looking for people. And if you don't like people, I'm sorry. If you don't like people that bought from you, I'm sorry.
Retail is an odd business to be in if you don't like people.
It's an odd. One day, I got the story. I'm in the supermarket line, and it says cashier in training. And so she's adding up the stuff. And I said, oh, I got to go get something. I forgot it. I go and I get it. The guy behind me leans over and says, hey, she didn't count those tomatoes of yours. I just want to know, you just got away free with tomatoes. I go, wait a minute, we have a problem here. Did you charge me for the tomatoes? And she said, I said, I heard you didn't. Somebody was keeping, making sure all my stuff was good. She said, oh, no, I didn't. I forgot them. I said, well, then put them in there. So she calls the manager and he goes, no, you can have the tomatoes. I said, I don't want the tomatoes for free. If I get the tomatoes for free, how will you stay in business, for goodness sakes? So he goes, but no, I'm telling you, okay, it's okay for you to take the tomatoes. I said, I insist on paying for the tomatoes. Standing in line, a guy from the back comes up to me. He said, what do you do for a living? I said, I'm a management consultant. He said, can I hire you? Because my people give away crap all the time that I have. I never laughed so hard in my life. He hired me. You've always got to remember that everybody out there is a connection. And it was the funniest thing because I said, no, I have to pay for the tomatoes. I don't mind paying for them. The problem was she didn't know how to do it. She didn't know how to go back in and figure out how to get me to pay for the tomatoes. And there was a long line behind me, and the people are like, now they're all looking why this stupid lady wants to pay for the tomatoes.
Lisbeth, I got to ask, because I know we're running out of time here. So for those who aren't, like, it's pretty clear here that to survive anything, to thrive in any condition, you want to build the relationships, and you're talking, you're promoting in a big way, starting at the very least with your past customers. For those who are on the call and who have not been doing this, what's the easiest way to get started? How do you recommend, or what do you recommend someone do who just hasn't done this before and doesn't know what's the easy way?
Okay, so hopefully you've got a database, so you can reach in and start looking. Maybe you don't have a database, but you do know who your customers are, the ones that caused you problems, the ones who spend a whole lot of dough. So now you go in and start talking to your salespeople, start talking to your installers. They know who the good customers are, right? So you go in and you start pulling out good customers. You know, you start figuring out, go in and look for maybe 10 or 15 customers that have really, really helped you build your business. You see, we sell people, you know, we have that expression, out of sight, out of mind, good riddance. Now you go in and you look for them. You actually go and you hand pick. You've been in business a while. You've got people in there, right? And another thing about your database, look at what they do for a living, because that will help you. Say, okay, I got my insurance company, and I'm telling you, that's the one where people, after I tell them that they should be calling them on the phone and say, no, I spent $40,000 with you last year, and I'm looking, you only spent, I had one of those customers who bought from me, and I thought, well, a one-time sale, he had apartment houses, and I just called him on the phone. I said, we have 7 stores. I think we spent $100,000 with you, and you gave me 2 apartment houses. He goes, Liz, I sit on the board, New York City Hospital Board. Can you work in New York? Do you have, I said, yeah, I have union installers. I could be in New York tomorrow morning. And that was it, right? But it took me to go look. So you've got to start looking. And, part of it is thinking about what's important to you, because those are the customers, people you like. Let's start with the ones you liked in there. Start pulling them out. And maybe you say to them, okay, I want to hold an event. Will you all help me? They're going to love it, right? You're going to bring in an interior designer. You're going to bring in somebody to talk about color, style, and design. Now you've got it. So that was a good question. So suppose you don't have them. Suppose, you're trying to figure out how to build the base. That's what you do. Start with your friends who bought from you. You bring them in and say, I need some help with my business. Don't be afraid to say that, because then in turn, you're going to offer them some help. It's that, like you're doing, it's the pay it forward. Jim Armstrong does it all the time. He's paying it forward. He's got all his customers listening, I'm sure, because he's trying to give them some added value. Today, I'm the added value, right? But he knows that the people who are in his group, right, need new stuff. They need to feel better. They need to get revved up and excited. So he said, okay, well, let's bring in Liz today, because maybe Liz can do that. But that's what you need to do. And again, you got to like them. You got to love them, because this is your business, and when you first started, you did love them. You were so excited somebody bought something from you. And you went, oh my God, they bought something today. Isn't that terrific? But you forgot about them. You said, okay, they went home. No, honey. They're out there connecting for you, because those past customers will call other friends, they'll call their relatives, they'll call everybody they know. If you treat them right, you do things for them, and you build a connection, they're gonna love you.
Lisbeth, have you heard of Stu Leonard's, the dairy?
Yes, I know Stu Leonard's, and I've been to Stu Leonard's, right? And it's a grocery store, right?
Well, it's mostly a dairy store. It started off as just a dairy store. And the New York Times at one point called it the Disneyland of dairy stores, because they had a petting zoo and they had animatronic little characters. They have a 3-ton granite boulder at the entrance to every one of their stores that says, Rule 1, the customer is always right. Rule 2, if the customer is ever wrong, refer to Rule 1, on a piece of 3-ton granite at the entrance to every store. They have music playing that's the, you know, the chicken picking barnyard music. They make it a destination. They're selling milk, for crying out loud. Okay. It's a total commodity. You can get milk anywhere, right?
But you can't get Stu and his kids. And
Right.
if you go to Stu Leonard's and they'll take you into where they keep a lot of frozen food, and they give you a coat to wear to go in there. They don't want you to be cold. So we went down, it was like 2 years ago, because my friend said, oh, I know you love this stuff. We were going to New York. He said, let's go to Stu's. You know, and I went and I said, okay, so who's the Leonard here? Can I talk to the owner? You know, I was going to talk to the owner, and I said, I don't know, it was a daughter. And I said, you know, tell me about this place. Do you love us all? Do you know, we must get tired of talking to customers. Don't, oh no, she said, we never do. Now, she may get, but she's not going to say to me, you know, you could tell me. I said, I won't tell anybody except the whole world. But she said, oh no, we love customers. And I love the fact that they give you a coat to go into the frozen food section. I thought that was really cute, you know?
So I trained our selling system. One of the things we train dealers to do is when somebody comes in, a couple of things, hand them a beverage menu and say, what would you like to drink? Like they're at a restaurant. Nobody's going to do that. Have a convection oven and be baking cookies or bread every day in the store so it smells like that, and have them sitting out. Have music playing. You know, when you go into most flooring stores, I've gone and personally visited a lot of flooring stores, and the things that are in common is, first of all, it's quiet, it's silent, it's like entering a funeral parlor.
I know.
Silent. Second thing you notice is it smells like dust and glue, because all these stuff, all the samples were sitting in warehouses, and they off-gassed those chemicals. And the third thing is it's silent, it smells funny, and you may or may not get greeted. You know, you may just wonder about the place. Fix those. Imagine walking into a Starbucks or a Pete's Coffee or a really good coffee house. There's a buzz going on there. The other thing is clutter. Too much. You got displays to the ceiling, and it feels like the warehouse scene at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. You don't need 1,000 different shades of beige, you know, LVT. Curate, make it look, you know, you go into Starbucks or someplace like that, they've got products, but they're displayed like they're highlighted. They've got just a couple of shelves, and there's that buzz and the music and the sound of the coffee beans and the grinding and all that stuff. It's a happy place. So your client goes from there to get her latte, her Frappa Wappa Happa Crappuccino, and then drives to your place and goes in, and it's quiet, like silent, and it smells funny.
And the parking lot, I almost fell going in because you didn't dig up the ice. Now, how do you figure this out? You know, it's easy for us. We've been doing it for so long. So how do you figure this out? How do you know what to do? Don't go to another flooring store to try to figure out what to do, because you're not going to find it in the flooring store. Go into your community. You probably all have a Bob's furniture store. You know, Bob's is all across the country. Bob's has a big cooler with ice cream in it. Man, he's got candy all over the place. He's got, you know, he's got water and drinks and everything. And the other day I had to go someplace else, and I said, oh my God, let me go stop into Bob's and get a candy bar. I went into Bob's and got a candy bar. And of course, somebody pitched me while I was in there, right? Somebody pitched me, took me on a walk around there. So go to places that you like. Go to places that stimulate you. We have another guy called Huck Fins. He's a furniture, and he's got area rugs, loads of area rugs. Now, he bought a darn amusement park. Honest to God, he bought a small amusement park. He moved his store next to the amusement park, and you go on one of our major highways, and you can see the Ferris wheel and a big sign, I'm telling you, that says Huck Fins on it. He doesn't care. You go to the amusement park, he knows he's got you, because the kids, right? The kids want to go. So go to places that you like. And every time you see something, write it down. Don't just say, isn't that nice? No, what it's saying to you is it's telling you something. You've always got to know. I was at I had to go to the Apple store. This is a great store. I went to the Apple store because my battery was down and I needed a battery. I went to the Apple store. I left it there and the guy said, come back in 2 hours and you'll have a new battery. So I come back and he goes, nah, we have a little problem with your phone. It exploded and caught on fire in our back room. And we have some real issues with that. I was like, what? I don't have a phone. He said, no, you don't have a phone. And the other bad news is, he said, the other bad news is we don't have your phone in stock. I had to go to services. I gotta have a phone. He said, we're gonna get you, you're a good customer. You've been in here before. I know you, he said. You always wear those hats. He said, we ordered your phone today. We're gonna give you another phone. And I know you need an iPad. And so we're gonna make sure that you get that. Yeah. Now, I was there 3 or 4 times. He didn't forget me. I've been in there a number of times. And then I said to myself, why did this happen to me? And then it occurred to me. So, you know the things you think that don't work? I want you to think, I said, I know, my phone was trying to tell me something. It was trying to tell me, you need a new phone. You need a 14 or 18 or whatever they got out there because you need it. And so when these things happen to you and they don't work, you say to yourself, okay, what am I learning from this thing? I got a parking lot out there and I had the problem. The horse ran over somebody. I dropped money out of an airplane once in a shopping mall where I had a store. We dropped $500. Some guy, there were so many people in the parking lot. One guy put his foot through a car window and came in to sue me that afternoon. I kept saying, oh my heavens. Well, I sold him a bedroom set. My sister said, you are a master. So you've got to look at, okay, so it didn't work. So you get all these people together, but it will work. Something will work for you. And that's the thing. Get them database together. Get those people in and ask them, hey, do you want to have a Valentine's party? Hey, you know, they have these new Valentine's for people who are uncoupled. So have a Valentine's party. That's what's coming up next. You should be doing something. Go call your database. Say, I want to do a Valentine's party. Let's do it. You know, you're all doing work with realtors, and that's terrific. But you got to get your database. You got to get those people to help you with this thing. Hey, you must in your database, you probably got somebody who owns a restaurant. Tell them you need them to cook. That's called paying it forward. So there's your database, right? And you use them.
Lisbeth, I do want to make sure in the last few minutes, people here actually have a way to contact you if they want to learn more about what you do and they want to actually be able to reach out to you personally. And while you're telling everyone how they can do that, if anyone has some questions, we probably have time for 1 or 2 at the end. But Lisbeth, if you could tell us a little bit more about how to get in touch with you. And if you have a question in the audience, feel free to put it in the Q&A and we'll do our best to get that answered.
Okay, so let's just say you want to know more of this and you want me to help you put it together. You can call me, right? Jim, my number, you can give my number or somehow we'll put it up there.
We'll give them your number. If you want to say it right now, we'll also have it in a recording and we'll also be sure to share it.
It's 518. I'm in Eastern time.
Hang on. I'm going to put it in the chat box
here. Oh, thank you. Okay.
And my chat function, there it is. Okay, what's your number?
518-495-5380. I get up early and stay up late. So you can call me for the most part anytime. The other thing is if
wait a minute. 518-495-5380.
Perfect.
I'm sending it to everybody.
Now, if you want to book some time with me, go to floorcoveringbasics.com. I've got a special for $199 and $99. You want a couple of days so that you got a headache when I'm done with you? 2 days cost you about $199. You say I can only stand you for 4 hours, cost you $99. I have a little book that say 50 events that you can use to grow your business. So if you want to know about that, call me. I love this stuff. I can help you figure out how to get into that database, right? You'll get that database, start looking. And if you're not going to those customers, go in there, call me with 10 names you have and what they do. And I will put an event together for you that will definitely be profitable.
Awesome. Elizabeth, on that note,
website and that phone number are both in the chat box there.
In the spirit of time here, there was an anonymous user here. I don't have their name, that asked for online flooring tips tips for online flooring vendors. I'm going to suggest that if this was you, you reach out to Lisbeth directly, and I'm sure, Lisbeth, you have quite a few tips for them. And I do want to say thank you. For me, this is huge. I know that you were ranked one of the top 10 influencers in the industry last year by FC News, and frankly, just having you on here has been in the works for quite a while, and I really, really appreciate you coming. I also really appreciate everyone who joined us today. We're only able to attract awesome people like Lisbeth to this webinar because of people like you continuing to support us day in and day out. And of course, our co-host Jim Armstrong for giving us his time and continuing to show up every other month for these. So thank you all. Elizabeth, again, a huge thank you. And we will see you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Of course, we'll have you back.
I'm in your database. I'm in your database now. So you can use me however. I gotta pay it forward now, right?
100%. I think I'm in your database too. I can't wait.
You are. You are.
It. Cool. Well, thank you all. We'll speak soon. And if you're coming to Surfaces, Roomvo is going to be there next week. Please swing by the booth. We got some really, really cool things. Our QR code generator is just the start. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.